Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends X-Men Build-A-Figure Marvel's Nemesis MARROW. MARROW's one that I was actually looking forward to. I'm a big X-Men guy, and this one fits in for a variety of reasons, just being X-Men, Marvel vs. Capcom, the whole deal. I was looking forward to MARROW. It looked pretty good from the promo shots, and in some ways it's pretty good. They did a few things, I would say, surprisingly well. But they did, in Hasbro fashion, do a few things not surprisingly poorly. So we're going to talk about all of it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we start with the figure, let's start with my package. It is the new square packaging. I like it. Nice big window, nice square edges, good contrast. No arguments against this packaging from me. Artwork on the side makes the figure look less good. Same artwork on the back. Here's the rest of the wave. I have them all at this point, and should I review all of them? I'm starting to wonder if I need to bother. I'm going to review this guy for sure, this guy for sure. I don't know if I need to review these two. Let me know. I did review these two already. Alright, and then there's more of the same artwork all the way around. Couldn't spring for a little bit of unique artwork for the different panels. Okay, moving on to the figure. This one stands just shy of 16 centimeters. That's going to make her roughly 6¼ inches. Here she is up against Darwin. Here she is up against Darwin. So reasonably scaled, probably creeping, though Marvel Legends tend to keep doing that. And I will say she is popping in and out of pre-order / in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. So if you want one, check out the link in the description below. All right, question of the day. Do you think we'll ever have a good set of figures for Marvel vs. Capcom? Will Hasbro ever give us good enough Marvel figures for that collection to go up against things like Jada's Street Fighter? Let me know what you think. I think they will simply be good enough if we wait long enough, but not actually as good as we want them to be. This is a good example. So let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic on this figure. At first glance, really good, mostly. I like that they did the coloration on the bone parts. Even around here, on the back pieces, it's not so noticeable on the very back of them, but on the front of the back pieces, there is coloration, which makes them look really, really nice. I love that. And then the line work on this figure is not bad. There's no like texture or anything like that for different panels. They're definitely not ever going to do that because they need to reuse as many parts. Oh wait, this isn't even going to be reused. So they could have sculpted the seam between the colors. They didn't. Probably because they weren't going to bother down here, so why bother doing it anywhere? Which is irritating, but acceptable. But here's the other thing that bugs me about this figure. The face. The face, it's, that doesn't make me think MARROW at all. It makes me think big-nosed RBF lady. It's just not, it doesn't look like, I mean, here, let's just use their box for an example because they're so kindly providing images. That's not what that is. That just, it doesn't work for me. Let me know what you guys think. It has the realistic paint job, really big nose. I'm not a fan of this face or hair or head sculpt at all, personally. The body does look pretty good, though, in a lot of ways. The torso area right here does not, because it doesn't fit together properly, because instead of making it articulation, they glued her torso together. And from the front, it doesn't look too bad other than that shelf right there, but they also gave her a case of lumbar lordosis, so there's that. That's not what people look like. That's just not how people are built. Not really. And you can argue, oh, but they're trying to make it look sexy. No, they're not. No, they're not. Look at that ass. Oh, man. Oh, that's also not sexy to have a health condition for your spine. So, anyway, it's at first glance, it looks pretty good, but then the closer you get to it, there's a lot of problems. Will it suffice? I guess it's okay. The gold parts look okay. But unfortunately, as we get into this review more, the points aren't going to keep going up, I don't think. But I'll give it an aesthetic rating of, I'll say 7 out of 10. It's probably a little generous, but things like the colored bones do help. So I'll give that to them. But it's just really not the effort it should have been. Now, as far as accessories go, we have the 2 gripping hands and a fist hand and a karate chop hand. The problem is the gripping hands have the wrong hinge. They have a horizontal hinge, and she is a melee character. She's got the bone blades, so she should be able to use those effectively in her hands, and she can't because they gave her the wrong articulation. Bone blades have paint on only one side each. Man, Hasbro sucks, like a whole lot, like big time suckage. Hasbro is really, really annoying. So accessory-wise, no alternate face either, just this RBF. I'm in line for too long, and I'm upset at you for having too many things in front of me face. So I'm going to give her an accessory rating of 5 out of 10. It's not good enough. Now, as far as articulation goes, buckle up because Hasbro really pulled out all the stops. Oh, I did want to mention, I forgot to earlier, they did paint the spines back here. Those are pretty nice, but there's no shading on the back because that would have been too much, guys. We can only have shading on one part, so it's like you can look at the back, but we're not really going to go that far. Okay, so back to the articulation. All right, let's see. Yep, they still did it. They put this old antiquated joint in here with an incredible amount of lollipop. Like, we just don't have heads connected to bodies half the time from Hasbro. It's been getting better, at least for the male characters, but the heads don't connect to the bodies. They're floating. It's just, how is this acceptable to any adult collecting these things? Especially at 26 bucks. That's crazy. Look at that. It's just, how... Are people lying to themselves to say that they enjoy these figures at this point? It's like, okay, if you did this a few times when you were just starting out, Hasbro, I would get it, but this far into the game, it's getting a bit much. Especially with a whole new torso. Make the neck go to the head. It's not that hard. Alright, for the shoulder, you get up better than horizontal, you're going to get your full rotation. Of course, these will be in the way, but that's just the way it goes. Bicep swivel is fine. You're going to get some paint rub on the arm. Apparently, Hasbro didn't used to have that much. Elbow is fine. The gloves are a separate piece, by the way, so just you'll have to adjust them. They're not glued on or anything, but that's not a big deal. So wrists have a swivel and a hinge, and like I said, it's the wrong hinge for using her weapons. Now get ready for this. Her torso, one of the first torsos ever to be able to not lean forward. Can't lean forward at all. 0%. Does lean back all the way. Look at that. Look at... Okay, I can't be the only one seeing this. What is this? Look at the shape of her lower torso, and then look at the way the bend is. What's the point? I really want to know, guys, are we just, and by we I mean the collectors at large, are we just buying things of characters at this point? We don't care what the things are? Because this is not a collectible. This is a really low energy, low effort, low quality pile of garbage in a lot of ways. Like, new sculpt for the whole torso, and that's the best they could come up with. Alright, that's she can lean to the side relatively well. She can rotate up here. No articulation down here, so not only did they give her a spine condition, they gave her no articulation, even though it's a separate piece. So let me just, because people like to say I'm a hater, I'll provide the constructive criticism as I usually do. The blue and green part should have been where the cut was. It should have been rounded just a little bit, which it already is kind of, but round that out just a little bit. Make it a ball peg. That lets her whole body move down here. These pieces, if it's too hard for you to add them to the blue and green part for the articulation, you make them a soft piece that pegs in back here. So the gold piece is just a separate piece and it flexes. It would have worked just fine that way. Or just make the whole thing a soft piece down here like a normal company would do. Hasbro won't do that. But there's like 5 different ways to easily make this a ball peg and functional rather than this horribly sculpted pile of garbage that isn't functional at all. That's just... that is nuts to me. That is nuts to me. Alright, for the hips, we still can't get splits out of this damn company. It's insane. It's nuts. At this point, it's just... this guy whose legs are thicker than hers, and he's wearing pants. Full splits. Full on splits. Nope. Not bare legs lady over here. Can't do it. Too much work for Hasbro, even on new sculpt. Alright, she can kick normally. She doesn't go back at all. Thigh swivel is a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees will joint at the knees. And then for the ankles, we have all the range. That's fine. Ankle rocker is fine. The plastic on Hasbro stuff is like... it's just so soft. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. I'll do the articulation rating first. 4 out of 10. What is this garbage? Okay, now back to the softness. Okay, it's just... don't say it's because of kids. They sell hard accessories that are blades all the time. All the time. Their plastic is trash. It's so soft. I mean, it won't break, so that's nice, I guess, but it's so soft. But we got the pinless joints with the hard inners, so the rest of the figure can be a floppy mess, but the joints themselves aren't. Look at the leg. The whole leg is just able to bend. Goodness gracious. Alright, time for the final rating on this figure. A deceptively bad figure. Is that how you use that, or is it deceptively good? No, it's deceptively bad. It looks good, so it's deceiving us, but it is bad. Yeah, it's really not worth having unless you just needed a MARROW figure in your collection. And so it does fill that spot. It is that character, but it is not good. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 5 out of 10. That's the best I can do for this. It is so surprising that so much extra new stuff is on this figure, and it is worse than the average Marvel Legends figure. It is that bad in so many ways. What a disappointment. Wow, how do they do it? Do they sit there and try to figure out how to make them bad? I don't get it. I don't get it. So disappointing. Okay, oh, also, I'll just throw this in. A little bit of salt in the wound. The neck up here, the paint job is glossy and doesn't match. Okay. Alright, so that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.